We'll be talking about a giveaway tonight. Ooh, yeah, we hyped it. Sitting here, we'll unveil it here in a moment. So you got to stick around just for a few more minutes, then you'll see that Erik went to the Indy Grand Prix, the Sonsio Grand Prix. We'll talk about that. It's a trip to Darlington with a upset Chris Buescher at the end of the race, which we talked a little bit about. And Indy is starting up. So, if the rain stays away. This is FR Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flock.
I'm Erik Richardson.
All right. So we're going to unveil the giveaway. So just a little background here is we started this last year. So last year, the end of June, FR Racing became an organization in June of 2021. So for our still, not really anyone knew who we were after the first year, but last year for the second anniversary, we decided we're going to give you our anniversary gift. And we gave away a free entry contest. You got bonus entries for, following on social media and YouTube and all that jazz. And we sent a autographed Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 124 scale diecast to someone last year. So this year I said let's up it a little bit, and
You did.
I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back for this one. So without further ado, this that I'm about to pull up here is the front right fender to Tyler Reddick's Toyota Camry from the 2023 Bristol Dirt Race, where he finished in second. And you can see this was actually, I think this was two pieces, but you can see the damage to the Goodyear down here. But I mean, otherwise, there's a little bit of Bristol dirt on the inside here, but this thing's been cleaned up since the race. And you've got the funny thing is, it has a serial number on. Well, it has a serial number from the original body manufacturer, but it also has it says 23XI on it, but underneath it, the identification number on it is JGR. So I'm guessing Joe probably until they get into their new 2311 headquarters, Joe Gibbs is keeping their inventory for them. But yeah, so all you have to do is go to frracingonline.com/contest. The link is in this video. If you're listening on the podcast version, the link is in the description of this episode. Go click that. You just have to fill out your name, your email address, bonus entries for following on social media and so on. Just real simple. Fill that out. It'll take you all of about, 2 or 3 minutes, depending on how many platforms. And the question that was raised is, what if I already follow you on Instagram or YouTube or whatever? That's fine. All you have to do is click the button that says follow me on Instagram or whatever. It will take you to Instagram and you will get credit because you already followed us. So doesn't matter if you already follow us. You just have to click that link and go out to Instagram and then just come right back to the page and you'll get that credit. So you have until June 30th to enter. So yeah, it's open now. We opened it up to time it with the release of this episode. So if you are watching this episode, if you're listening to this episode, go enter. What are you waiting for? So click that link, go enter it. And a couple rules: no purchase necessary. Must be a resident 18 years or older of the continental United States. Sorry, Alaska, Hawaii. Because I can't ship this overseas. Sorry, you're out of the US. It's pretty, as you can see, it's pretty awkward shape. So yeah, this was Tyler Reddick's Sirius XM car. Had it not been for a last lap caution, might have won that race.
That's a cool piece.
Yeah. So this is we're really excited to give this away. So I'm gonna pose with it because it's gonna go on the social media. There we go.
If I had something like that in my house, I would get yelled at. So
when the package came to the door, it was just wrapped in shrink wrap and paper, or like this plastic packaging, the same material when you get Amazon packages and it's in that plastic packaging. They basically just wrap this thing a bunch of times in it. And I was hoping they'd put it in a box and I could just reuse the box, but no. I between now and early July, I got to figure out how to ship this thing. But yep, that could be yours. I was really excited when I found that. I've been keeping an eye on a couple of items, and I saw this come up for sale and I texted Erik. I'm like, unless you have an objection, I am buying this. This is our giveaway.
Yeah, it works.
And then when it showed up at my house the other day, my wife's like, that better be your giveaway.
And good timing too with Tyler Reddick being in the middle of the Darlington race.
Yeah. Yeah, he made Chris Buescher a little upset.
Now, we kind of touched on it, but I can go both ways. Like, it's getting to the end of a race.
Race
You're going to try and make moves.
You're racing to win.
Even though you already have a win and you're in the playoffs, you're still trying to get it out front there for your sponsors, your team. There's money behind it. I don't think any driver, if they're in that spot, would just
You want to
roll
win at
over and
Darlington too. I mean,
stay second.
that's a tough place to win, and that's something that drivers would like to have on their resume that they won at Darlington. And it's up there. It's a historical place.
And you go back and watch it before they even made contact. Buescher was in the wall
Yes, he was.
and he bounced off.
Did you hear
Does
Kevin
that turn
Harvick's?
maybe go different?
Did you hear Kevin Harvick's comments about that?
I don't think I have.
He was actually not upset, but he was more disappointed in how Reddick handled the apology and said like, look,
yes.
he's like, don't over apologize.
Just
don't over apologize. Just say,
racing.
look, I tried to make a move, it failed. Sorry. It's just don't over apologize. And that was Harvick's. Harvick's
I did
message.
hear that. And I've seen that a couple other places too. Like, don't apologize so much. You're racing. It happens.
It does. It does. It's racing.
And as we've seen just on iRacing, Darlington is not an easy track to drive, and it is very narrow.
Oh, it's Dad's root beer, by the way, if you're wondering. It's no beer tonight.
I don't have beer, but I have other things to imbibe on.
It looks like a beer, but it's not. It's a Dad's root beer.
Now, there may be a good chance I bring out the Dad's root beer truck next week.
Go for it.
As we go to New Hampshire.
Yeah. So, I mean, otherwise, the Darlington race, there wasn't too terribly much to get excited about there.
Pretty much standard first stage.
Brad.
Caution free. Second stage, there was a couple little things.
Yeah.
I think now just rest of season. Let's fast forward to stage 3.
Just skip and do stage 3. Make it a tad bit longer, and then let's just do stage 3. Forget these 500-mile races.
And Daytona, you're running around half throttle because you're trying to save fuel. Like, come on.
We're gonna have the Daytona 200.
We're gonna just run 10 laps at Daytona, 2 to get up to speed and 8 to race.
Pretty much.
Cautions go.
I was watching some of the races that weren't even that long ago, and they were, you didn't have the single line pack, but you had like, here's a group of 3, here's a group of 4, here was a group of 2.
Yeah, I don't know. Kansas was a great race. This car is only about good on intermediates. And then the stage racing just takes away so much of other stuff.
I was actually thinking about that with the intermediates. So there's some breaking rumor news that a contract has been inked in 2026 for a Formula One Chicago Grand Prix. If I remember correctly, NASCAR has, I think, a 3-year deal with the city of Chicago to do this. I might be just completely
10.
No, Vegas had like a 10-year deal for
Vegas was 2.
I thought NASCAR only had it was like a 3-year deal. And the question is, one, people are upset because why does the US need 4 races? Like you might as well call it IndyCar. So they're not getting rid of Vegas. They're there for the long haul, as long as they don't get thrown out. Miami's another too gimmicky. So it seems like Coda's probably going to get the short end of the stick, which is unfortunate.
It's too bad, and it's a great track.
It really is. I mean, it was
That is a
basically
good
built.
Formula track.
It was built for Formula One, basically.
Got high speeds,
So
tight turns, the S's.
yeah, I
But
got something
Austin,
to tell you
Texas,
after we hit
or
stop. Yeah, you know.
Austin, or Miami, Chicago, Vegas.
I mean, I think a Chicago race would be fun, but I mean, you're just oversaturating the U.S. market with Formula One.
What do you do? Race the street course that NASCAR does? Those cars won't
The
fit.
course, the course isn't even finalized yet. Two, I don't know where else you do it other than there. You know, make some modifications to it, but that area where they have like the tire wall, you know, you're heading down like Lakeshore Drive area and you turn off, that's a really tight turn. I mean, that's
I think
like
the track is too short too.
it is too short. Like I don't I'm very interested to see what they come up with. But you know, that being said, I was going back to my original thought. One is I got the off the clearance rack, I got myself a Chicago street race die cast. So it was like half price. I had to do it. But if NASCAR has a 3-year deal, I can't imagine the city of Chicago and the residents for sure. You know, there's a new mayor. The previous mayor is the one who signed the initial deal, if I remember correctly. You've got a new mayor, which
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's commented one way or the other how he feels about. I mean, clearly they're okay with Formula One. Clearly, a Formula One event is going to be a bigger deal than a NASCAR event, especially just because of the global audience. Does NASCAR get run out after 25 out of the Chicago race in favor of Formula One?
It's possible.
I think I think the city of Chicago will do that. There's no way they're going to want to close because that was pure chaos that week. And then they had the floods and that, you know, that added to it. I don't see any other way other than saying, you know, NASCAR, thanks for like proving this out for us, but you know, we're now dating the prettier, you know, global Formula
NASCAR
One
will make you a
audience.
deal. We'll help you get back to Chicagoland.
That was my original point that I tried to get to 5 minutes ago. Go back to Chicagoland. I mean, it's almost a virtual clone of Kansas. Not quite, but close. Go back to Chicagoland. It's still there. It didn't sell.
Well, we heard what a rumor or leak of a
Yeah.
track coming back.
Yeah, Carson Hocevar.
That would be Rockingham.
Yeah, Carson Hocevar was taking questions on his like Twitch feed either today or yesterday, and someone asked him, and he said, have you heard anything about the 25 schedule yet? And he goes, well, yeah, I hear, you know, Rockingham's coming back, which is really cool. And we know Rockingham's been angling for a way to get back on the schedule.
Funny, you know, I've been following Rockingham on social media, and they're posting their track updates, and
they're openly
progress.
like mocking NASCAR for the fact that they don't have a race. I mean, it's pretty funny. It's like, look what they have like before after, and it's like it looks cleaned up. The track's been repaved, looks really, really nice. Go back to the Rock. Go back.
And if you go back to an early episode of Garage Talk too, I've been saying let's put the All-Star race at Rockingham at least.
I mean, I'm very curious to see how North Wilkesboro works out this year.
Is Kyle Larson going to lap the field again?
Is he even going to be there?
I think Kevin Harvick is shaking down his car.
Yeah, he is. He is going to be shaking down his car. So is the All-Star race this weekend?
Yep.
Yeah. And Indy qualifying is this weekend.
If it doesn't rain.
If it doesn't rain. So if it rains, or if let's just say, you know, Kyle doesn't get into the field day one and gets into day two, like he can't have somebody qualify for him. He has to do it.
Yeah, he's got to run it.
So would he skip the All-Star race to make sure he gets into the 500 field?
It's a Fast 6 or Fast 9 at Indy.
Don't remember it. I should know this, but I do not recall.
This is dating us, we used to know when IndyCar qualifying took 2 weekends,
Yeah,
not
yeah. It
2 days.
wasn't that long ago either. I mean, we were probably in middle school or high school and they were still doing that. I mean, okay, we were in high school 20 years ago. It wasn't that long ago, 20 years.
I feel like they change it every couple of years now.
Yeah, I mean, last year's qualifying. I mean, how that was so high pressure. And then like Graham Rahal gets knocked out at the last second, and the camera's just right there as you just see like the air just get sucked out of him. I mean, that was some high stakes drama. Um, you felt bad for him too. I mean, he handled it with a lot of class, and a lot of people were really like happy with him and how professionally he handled that, and um, he ended up getting into the race anyway. But
So, okay. So what time does the All-Star race go?
let's see.
I have the Indy schedule pulled up here.
Uh, North Wilkesboro Speedway schedule.
So this does pose an interesting question.
Sunday driver introductions are at 5:10 p.m. Eastern time, with the All-Star race. Oh, that's the open.
Because they do the heats and stuff
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Okay.
So the heat races are at 5:30. The main event is at 8. So if he has to stick around for bump day,
So here's a question. Do you risk intentionally slowing yourself down to be in position 13 through 30 so you can do the All-Star race on Sunday? Is in your set on Saturday. If you're in the bottom 4, you're in a bump position. Or
yeah,
if you're top 12,
you gotta come back for
you
the fast 12. Yeah.
you go fast 12 at 305 to 405, and that determines 7 through 12. And then the fast 6 go 525 to 555.
I mean, based on his, I mean, today was the first practice because of all the rain, but he um he was kind of in that mid pack. I think he was like 15th fastest today.
Yeah,
So
Tuesday he was number 1, but it was a very short session.
it was like a
And
20-minute session. He was getting towed around too.
yeah, he was in tow and 5 miles an hour slower that day than day 2.
Side note, I think it's funny that the building at North Wilkesboro, despite the fact that the cigarettes are gone and everything, it's still the Winston building. The Winston.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this.
Yeah, honestly, I think his best case scenario is he puts himself in that like 10 to 17 range.
If he's up to 10, he's got to come back.
He's got to
I'm
come
not
back.
What scenario runs if he is in the top 12 but doesn't run on Sunday? I I actually don't know the rule book.
We've never really had to deal with that since they've gone to this format. I
Does he
mean,
just take a like
would they push,
DNF and go 12th?
or would he get disqualified for not showing up? I don't know.
Might be something for us to look into.
Yeah.
But it may not matter if he isn't in the top 12.
Honestly, like if he walks in or like 14th or 15th for on Saturday, I think that would be maybe not best case scenario, but most likely scenario based on
He's
what we've
talented
seen.
enough and working with Arrow. I think he's at least top 30.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna end up on bump day, but yeah, if he does get into the top 12, that does make an interesting problem. But the All-Star race is an exhibition. If he skips that, like, NASCAR has the rule you have to race in every race to qualify for the playoffs. And then if you don't, you have to do the waiver. Because the All-Star race is an exhibition, does that count? If he just has to skip the All-Star race because he can't get there in time, one, does Kevin Harvick end up running the race? That would be
'Cause you're gonna
interesting.
put the car out there.
Yeah, like you're not gonna, Hendrick's not gonna run 3 cars.
No.
Did all four drivers made field or are in the field, aren't they?
Well, considering it's an all-star race and they pretty much have the entire field in the heat races,
When was the last time? When was the last time Alex Bowman won a race?
It's what, a couple years ago. Did he win Phoenix?
Chase Briscoe won Phoenix a few
No,
years
Briscoe
ago.
won.
His last win in the Cup Series was the 2022 Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas.
That was regionally close.
So it's been a few years since he's had his last one. Do you think he gets fired? I mean, he's clearly the number 4 at Hendrick. It's not even close, to be honest with you. I mean, he's running top 10s, but this is also Hendrick we're talking about.
Hey, so it's confirmed Wednesday morning. Kyle Larson will not attend the heat races at North Wilkesboro. This was for an NBC Sports. 2 scenarios in which Larson would want to stay. If he is close enough to put his car in the Fast 12 to battle for pole, and if he is among the bottom 4. So we've kind of already said that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, he said that if he qualifies Saturday between 13 and 30, he'll fly back Saturday night to Charlotte and spend the night before spending Sunday at North Wilkesboro.
So exactly what we said.
Yeah, so
Oh, glad we worked that out when he's already published his plans. I mean, it's not like that took much detective work. That's the most logical thing to do.
so priority is qualifying, depending on weather. And last year, all 4 aero cars did make the Fast 12.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. All right. So Alex Bowman has 7 wins and 302 Cup Series starts. His best finish in the series was 6th in 2020. Abbreviated year. Oh, COVID.
So what were the numbers for Bowman?
He's run 302 races over 10 years in the series and has 7 wins and 87 top 10s.
So I'm going to give an unfavorable take here and say that that's not fair to Alex Bowman.
Which part?
Chris Buescher has 305 races over 10 years with 5 wins and 61 top 10s.
But I mean, you're also comparing. I mean, who did he drive for before RFK? Was he part of GMS? I can't remember. I mean, it's also
He started with Front Row Motorsports.
okay. Yeah, and then they folded. So it's okay. So he started with Front Row. He went to JTG Doherty Racing, and then he's been with Roush Fenway / RFK since 2020.
Yeah, September
I mean,
25th 19 he was announced.
And his first year at Front Row Motorsports, he ran 6 races that season. So RFK, granted they've been doing better, but not exactly a Hendrick.
No, and Buescher's definitely been picking up a lot here these last couple of years.
Yeah, he's really. I mean, he had their only win as RFK for the longest time until Brad finally snapped his 2-year winless streak.
Oh, he won what, back-to-back races last year?
Yeah, he won at Michigan and
Yeah, he had a great
Richmond.
car at Michigan.
He won 3 races last year. He won the Daytona, the second Daytona race, Michigan, and Richmond. Yeah, he had 3 wins. Yeah, 3 of his 5 wins came last year. He did win a race with front row back in 2016 at Pocono. So it's I don't think comparing Chris Buescher and Alex Bowman's exactly
If you look at raw numbers, it's comparable, but you have to
yeah.
look at trends also.
Yeah.
Buescher at RFK is trending upwards, where Bowman at Hendrick, you would think there'd be some better finishes and a win somewhere.
There was some questions on. I mean, the thing is, like, it's not terrible. There's a 5, an 8, a 3, a 3, an 8. There's a 5, a 6, 8. Yeah, it's he's finishing up there. He's just not winning.
And it's almost hard. He's in a tough spot. You have Chase Elliott, who's routinely up there with one of the most popular drivers. You have Kyle Larson, who just won a championship recently.
Arguably the best all-around driver in the world.
And then you have Byron, who's just winning race after race or up front most weeks.
I mean, outside of his 37th at Texas and 27 at Atlanta, he's a 2, 18, 20, 4, 4, 17, 8, 37, 5, 8, 7, 8. So,
and if you look at it, those numbers are just as comparable to his Hendrick teammates.
It's just no wins. Yeah. I mean, Hendrick's all about the wins. So, I mean, if he did get fired, I wouldn't be surprised. Not necessarily fair, but when you're Hendrick Motorsports, like, it's win or bust for them.
Who do you bring in to replace him, though?
I don't know.
Because you're not getting a JGR guy. You're not getting a Penske guy.
No, you'd almost have to.
You're not getting a maybe Suarez.
I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I mean, there's questions if
seen question marks, but I think that's your best option if you replace Bowman.
I mean, the other is you take a risk on one of these hotshot kids at Xfinity or truck and bring them all the way up, and sometimes you have some success. I mean, Bowman only ran like one full Xfinity season before he moved into Cup.
Couple maybe drivers here and there, but Hendrick, I feel like, is typically brought in experienced drivers.
I'm trying to think of, they haven't had all winners. I mean, there was the point where they brought Mark Martin in at the end of his career and had a really good year.
But a proven racer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean, I'm thinking of like some of the names that didn't really work out, like Brian Vickers, Casey Mears is another one that comes to mind.
But they've all had the Cup experience prior.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they were. All right. I have to look up some of the names that have driven for them.
You can say, like, oh, Jeff Gordon was young.
Yeah. In 2000, the number 5 was last used in 2000, or sorry, hang on a second. I'm looking at the wrong series. There's the trucks. This article is not like, it's not, it's just a bunch of blanks. Oh, did you see it? Terry Labonte and Kyle Larson in the matching race suits this weekend?
Yeah, that was awesome. I wish I could have gotten the Kellogg sponsor.
No, here we go. I was on the wrong page. I was on the Xfinity history. Let's see. Yeah. Casey Kane. How did I forget about? Yeah, he was there for a while. Remember Josh Berry filled in briefly last year for Chase Elliott. Corey LaJoie when Elliott got suspended.
The 5 is basically been filled with experienced drivers.
What else?
9's brand new.
Oh, I forgot. Brad Keselowski drove the 25 for a couple races in 2008 and 2009. Justin Allgaier drove the 48 at Indianapolis. And Alex Bowman. Remember, here's a flashback. Remember in 2015 when Dale Jr. had to sit out for a while because of his concussions?
Yeah.
Remember Jeff Gordon had to drive the 88 for a couple races? Bet you didn't remember that, did you?
Chase Elliott in the 24 for 2 years.
That's right. He was in the 24, wasn't he? Reagan Smith drove the 88 for a little while. Well, it was only 2 races that year. But
Hendrick does not necessarily bring in young drivers.
No, I mean, Bowman was a couple years into his Cup Series before he switched over. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's probably why they had the opportunity to grab somebody out of contract. I'm a little surprised they didn't make a move for Kyle Busch when he was available. But if you had to fire Bowman and put Kyle Busch in his seat, I think you would have done that if there was a real opportunity there. Bookend his career. Anyway. Yep, Indy 500 qualifying, all-star race. Imola. Yeah, we got Formula One this weekend. Oh, did you see Max signed up for the iRacing, the Nürburgring 24? And it's going on at the same time. It's going on right before the his Formula One race, and he's still gonna do both events. Now he's just showing off. That's
He's just trying to find a challenge.
He's so bored winning all the time that
that's why he's so happy Lando won. It's like whatever.
Well, he did say though, he's like, you know what, if somebody's gonna win other than me, I'm glad it's Lando. It's like, you're not gonna say that about your own teammate. I know his dad wouldn't say that about his own teammate. We remember the last time Checo won a race, you see Checo's like hugging the team. You see like Jos Verstappen standing there, like look stone faced, angry.
It's funny. It's a quiet weekend. We really with just Formula One, but there's a lot going on. NASCAR All Star and Indy 500 quals.
So tune in for that. Just a reminder, go to fracingonline.com/contest and win this.
Season finale of Indy Racing World Series coming up Tuesday at Vegas.
Yeah, and for Wednesday Night Dash next week, I might be in the booth. We'll see.
Oh man, that's all I've got. I have had a very long day,
Yeah,
and
that's why
this
we're
is
gonna
a
cut
struggle right
this. I
now.
don't know how long we've been going, but we're cutting this. Enter the contest, win this, get it out of my room before get it out of my house before my wife kills me.
Before you follow us on social media, go through the entry
Yes,
process
yes.
and then follow.
Enter, and then follow us on social media, and this can be yours.
It'll look great on your wall.
It will. It's so this is gonna be a really cool prize for somebody. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you. If you almost fall out of the chair again.
I don't blame fatigue in this.
Yeah, that's 2 times this year you've done that.
I will fall and knock myself out at least once at some point.
You
Or
fall out of the chair, your legs are up in the air, and I'm just gonna be just cracking up over here.
if I could get a real setup, I don't have to worry about this.
That is true too. You can make your bucket seat racing chair as your desk chair, like I did, which is completely not practical at all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Take care.